Hi y'all, I'm Fallen Ninja and welcome to Animation Nation, where today I'm going to be talking about the first season of Ben 10, which ran from 2005 to 2008. So, let's talk about the characters. Ben is voiced by Tara Strong, who is also the voice of Raven in the Teen Titans, and the voice of Timmy Turner in The Fairly OddParents. Ben, as can be seen from the first episode, really wants to be a hero. He has quite the hero complex. Being a kid, he tends to jump into things without really thinking about it, but behind that, he has good intentions. Ben originally had red hair, but it was given to Gwen during production. Gwen is voiced by Megan Smith, who is the voice of Rachel in All Grown Up, and she's also the voice of Gwen in Secret of the Omnitrix and Destroy All Aliens. Gwen is Ben's cousin. Well, she started out as a close friend, and then they changed that later, and she's totally kick butt, as can be seen from the first episode. I mean, she beat Heat Blast with a fire extinguisher, and she didn't even know what he was. Just watch this.
Look, I know I look weird, but there's no reason to be scared. Hey!
I don't know what you are, but you'll stay down there if you know what's good for you.
Max is voiced by Paul Eiding, who's the voice of Dr. Enzyme in SWAT Kats: The Radical Squadron, and he's the voice of Perceptor in the Transformers. Max is Ben and Gwen's grandpa, who is also totally kick butt, and he has this secret past. We'll get to that a little bit later. Ghost Freak and Vilgax are voiced by Steve Blum, who's the voice of Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop, and Smitus in My Life as a Teenage Robot. Ghost Freak is one of the original 10 aliens that Ben finds on the Omnitrix, and he's probably my favorite. Vilgax is an evil alien who wants the Omnitrix in order to create a huge mutant army that he's going to use to take over the universe. Kevin 11 is voiced by Charlie Schlatter, who plays additional voices in Phineas and Ferb, and he's the voice for the Flash in the Batman. Kevin 11 is a street kid with a natural superpower, which is the ability to absorb all kinds of energy. Kevin 11 and Ben 10 form a bit of a relationship because they have a slight disrespect for authority, but it turns out that Kevin's runs a little bit deeper, and that's where him and Ben part ways. Ben 10 is loosely based on a 60s DC comic called Dial H for Hero, in which there's a magical dial that allows ordinary people to become superheroes for a short period of time. My favorite episodes are 1 and 13. There's always something about the first episode that's just really exciting, because it kind of lays the stage for the entire series. We get introduced to a new world with these new characters, and hopefully we get to go on a glorious adventure together. Hopefully. But in this episode, Ben, Max, and Gwen are starting their summer adventure, and Ben decides to take a walk because he really doesn't want to have anything to do with this summer vacation anymore because Gwen is there.
Scarier than having to spend a summer with your freak of a cousin.
I'd like to, Grandpa, but I'm busy doing a web search on cures for extreme doofusness. Nothing yet, Ben, but let's not give up hope.
And I don't really blame him. And while he's out on his walk, he sees this shooting star go across the sky. And then it turns around and almost smashes him into a little pancake. So he goes over to investigate, and there's this watch inside that just attaches itself to his wrist. And he realizes he can't get it off. After messing with it, he realizes he can turn into an alien and pretty much becomes a superhero. And my other favorite episode was the last episode. In this episode, Vilgax mercilessly tracks down Ben for the Omnitrix. And when I say mercilessly, I mean mercilessly. Vilgax was inches away from cutting off Ben's arm at one point. And then Grandpa Max also reveals his secret past. Finally, because they've been hinting at it through the entire season. I mean, even from the first episode, we knew something was up. I mean, what grandfather would be like, "Hey, you've got some alien device attached to your wrist. Let's figure out what it does." The animation for the show is really smooth. It's like watching the panels of a comic book come to life by the way that the action flows. It's also like a comic book in that the backgrounds are very textured and they're very neutral, which really brings out the foreground action. And the people and props and other things in the foreground are also really bright compared to the background, so that also puts a lot of emphasis on what's going on in the foreground. But me being me, I notice this stuff in the background anyway, and I absolutely love shows that do this. Some other shows that have that comic book feel to them are Spawn, Samurai Jack, and the 2003 version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, I feel like going to watch some Ben 10 right now. I think I'll do that, actually. So, tell me what you think of the first season of Ben 10 down in the comments below, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, go ahead and leave those down there too, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.